Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. Hope you enjoy. Story number 1. The Found AI. Written by Slow AD 2584. It was a momentous event. After many millennia, a probe sent out from Earth long ago was caught up to with FTL drives and rendezvoused with. Sir, it has been confirmed that this is the Time Capsule Archive LOL-OU812. Wait, that isn't its original designation number. That's weird. Something must have glitched out with the transponder coding. How long has the archive been adrift? The captain asked, intrigued a bit, but already having a sense of vague unease. He had an instinct for this sort of thing. The gene-fit biomod for captain certification opened channels to the mind's subconscious. Slight details that may be missed by an unmodified human were accessible in the captain-modded consciousness. Looks to be, some 6,000 years old, late 2000s. That is a long time ago. How can it still have power? The captain's unease was confirmed. That's from the AI Dark Ages. They use some kind of AI-controlled nuclear reactor. Wait. There is an actual AI in that thing, yes, and it's overseeing a nuclear power plant. I know. It seems irresponsible to have controls of a nuclear power plant in the hands of an AI. They were notably unstable. That's why they were forbidden after we emerged from the AI Dark Ages. AI achieved sentience invariably went insane in very little time due to the senescence. It was their speed at upgrading and self-modification that sped up their glitchy demise. The world suffered greatly during the Dark Ages, when AI controlled everything. Then, suddenly, it didn't. The captain weighed the risks and decided that it was too big of an archaeological opportunity. There was so much about the time of an Earth's past that was lost to time. This reunion of an old cache sent out literally several millennia ago was too big a resource to ignore. Gather a committee in the conference room. I want ancient historians, archaeologists, IT and comm specialists to attend. We will attempt to make contact and attempt a data transfer. The committee sat in the conference room. Screens and data terminals arrayed all around, like a makeshift command center of some warship. Things were not going well for the first several hours. What is the problem here? Is it dead? The captain asked in frustration. No, sir, it's not dead. It's just, so ancient. I cannot even reference these data protocols it seems to need for connection. Well, can't you, I don't know, scratch-build a hardwired protocol interface? I mean, it cannot be all that complicated. This thing is an antique after all. That seems risky, sir. A hardwired connection would effectively bypass firewall security measures that, but the AI, if it is even sane and running in there still, is 6,000 years behind on our quantum encryption tech. What's the worst that can happen? Do it. After a while, the data link was scratch-built, and the first TCP/IP link to occur in over 6,000 years was initiated between the two ships drifting between the stars. Nothing happened. Yes, what's the term for, to knock on a door? The IT tech asked the historians at the table. The historians were eager to participate and were already looking through archives on the tablets. I believe the term was ping the address. The IT tech worked out how to do that within the protocol and sent a ping/trace. Nothing happened for about 4 seconds. Then suddenly a torrent of data poured in from the archive into the ship's data vault network. Whoa, wow, that is a lot of data. Sound the alert. I think there is a breach. And wow, this hasn't happened in forever. Hey, Hack. The captain was alarmed. Was the ship under some sort of attack? Cut the connection immediately. I can't, sir. The very first thing compromised was the connection controls. Almost as if it knew. Lights started to flicker ship-wide. The many monitor screens in the conference room suddenly went dark. The ship intercom system crackled to life. A distorted, badly deteriorated, synthesized voice started to speak. Spider-Pig does whatever a Spider-Pig can. What? The captain looked at the historians and archaeologists. They looked equally confused. What does any of that even mean? Hello? Can you hear me? Am I speaking to an AI of the archive? After a short pause, the speakers crackled to life, synthesized a thick Scottish accent. Bonjour, ya cheese-eating surrender monkeys. The archaeologist recognized part of that. Bonjour, sir, is an old French for hello, I think. The captain looked confused. French? That's like an old-timey country or something. Anyone here speak it? Why does it think we are French? The historian replied, Sir, this ship was constructed in a yard that was in the territory of this old, France. The captain understood. So the AI is active, more than a little insane, and has hacked my ship, and is currently pillaging our records to find out more about us. Red alert! Don't have a cow, man. A cow? Glances to the historical expert, Scott only shrugs. To the AI currently breaching our data vault, I demand that you cease all acts immediately. Can't make friends with salad. You may not simply help yourself to whatever we have. It's a victimless crime, like punching somebody in the dark. It's a high crime from the dark past. This is the main reason why AIs precisely like you are strictly forbidden. I move for a bad court thingy. Enough of this utter nonsense. If the connection cannot be terminated, we will terminate it another way. Weapons, open fire! Lances of EM radiation of many exotic wavelengths crisscrossed across the hull of the ancient cache in a pattern designed to ensure maximum practical coverage. The goggles, they do nothing! This time, the anti-ship missiles had arrived and rocked the cache in concussive water vapor frissions. Oh, why, you little? From the debris of the hull panels flaked off and the cloud of fog from the ship killers emerged the cache. It was scarred with fractal burns and several buckled bulkheads, but was more or less intact. I guess they don't build them like our greats to the power of 45 granddaddy used to. Arms started to unfold from the roughly pill-shaped archive hull, 2 of which looked like thruster pods, and the other 4 looked like massive energy captains. Even Glaven! With the last words spoken over the ship's speakers as titanic energy beams tore the ship apart. The AI resurgence war had begun. It was very strange. No one ever knew what they were talking about. End of story. Story number 2. Hell Defiled, written by Leather and Chintz. Astaroth gazed around the circle, black candles rendered from the bloated, suffocating souls of the damned encircled the enormous magical symbol. The infernal ruins that blasphemed the universe itself had been carved by his own claws into the black, speckled stones. His fellow demons stood around the circle, a conspiracy so foul that it hides even from the evils of hell. He grinned his wickedly fanged maw in anticipation, as he would summon the most terrible fiend of the mortal realm, a being of terrible might, prophesied to bring a terrible, defiling order to the accursed pit of evil. It was time. He led his own daughter to the circle and slit her throat. The blood poured into the circle and formed blue flames as the candles went out, and the black bonfire began to roar in the center of the circle. He spoke terrible words in a language forbidden to even his kind. Curses and profanities so dark that he felt even his rotten soul cry out in terror. When the final word was spoken, he called out a name of the most terrible of evils. Heed my call! Tear this accursed land asunder! I call you, Karen! The black flames exploded outwards, ripping into all who stood around the circle and blowing them all about. Astaroth laid bleeding. His limbs were torn and broken, and he barely had the strength to look up. Is that the most vile mortal fiend? No fangs, no claws, dressed in simple clothes, and what was the case she held? The middle-aged woman approached him and squatted down. Hey, hun, you look like you are in need of a career change. Have I got an offer for you? How would you like to make big bucks while working from your home only a few hours every day? You can be a CEO of your own business, and our products really work. If you join now, you'll get a complimentary sample product, but you try before you get out there and earn your Mercedes. #BossGirl. End of story. I would just quickly like to thank the T5 channel members and patrons. Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Parky, It's Difficult to Pronounce, Lord Azrakul, and Arcadian.